6:48, today's top stories. We start with breaking scenes. Violence overnight across Rochester with multiple cases. In total with shootings, 6 victims were injured, 5 were shot. 1 victim was hit by a car at a shooting scene. We're going to begin with a triple shooting investigation. Hayden Wentworth live downtown from the Public Safety Building with that. Hayden.
Brennan, police say this all happened around 11 last night near North Clinton Avenue and Upper Falls Boulevard. 3 people were shot there and 1 was run over during the panic. When officers arrived, they say there was a large crowd. They were eventually able to locate a 20-year-old man shot. He's in critical condition this morning, but they say he's stable. 2 others also shot at that scene, a 37-year-old woman and a 26-year-old man. They are expected to survive their injuries. Another man injured on scene was located. We're told the 32-year-old was struck by a vehicle leaving the scene. He is expected to survive, and the vehicle that hit that victim has not been found yet. Again, all 4 victims are expected to survive, and at this point there have been no arrests being made. Brennan?
Hayden, thank you. We're going to turn to another part of this, a different shooting scene just before 1 o'clock this morning on Colvin Street. Police say a woman 28 years old was shot. She showed up, dropped off at the hospital. She is expected to survive. Another man rushed to the hospital after a shooting on Pennsylvania Avenue. This new footage from that part of the city, the shooting around 1:30. The victim, 31 years old, is expected to pull through. For all of these shootings, no arrests have been made. RPD tells us police don't know if any of the scenes are connected. If you have any leads that can help, you're asked to please call 911. We'll keep you updated on all of this as it develops throughout the rest of Sunrise and on RochesterFirst.com all throughout the day. Is at RGH on strike after failed negotiations at the bargaining table. Union nurses tell News 8 they hope hospital officials will get serious about addressing issues like persistent staffing shortages and a lack of pay. RGH officials, however, say they have made an effort at the bargaining table, adding from their viewpoint they believe nothing proposed or not brought up has warranted the strike. Nurses out on the picket line tell us the current conditions are creating a safety hazard for their patients.
It affects the patients. There are times when I feel like a terrible human being because the first time I see a patient is when I'm shoving meds at them for them to take their scheduled medications. They'll come up to me and complain like, I haven't seen my nurse, like where's my nurse? And then I find out, oh, it's me, sorry.
Meantime, RGH leaders say the strike is disappointing, adding over the last 2 years, nurses did want higher wages, and they say they got a 19% bump.
I am sad and I'm disappointed because the money that it's costing for this strike, I'd much rather put into those nurses and into their wages and into their proposals.
Nearly half the nurses represented by the union continued to work despite this protest. Hospital leadership adds the strike has not hindered patient care as needed arrangements to cover everything have been made. The strike will continue until tomorrow morning at 7. As the emergency shelter back and forth here continues between the Gates Motel 6 owner and Monroe County, a nonprofit that puts people in crisis in new accommodations says the Department of Human Services needs to be dismantled. Crystal Schulich is the social services director of the Community Resource Collaborative. She says demand for people across this county in need of emergency shelter is staggering. Adding the shelter process for these people with DHS isn't as smooth as it should be, and oftentimes where they end up, it's subpar.
And it makes it so incredibly hard for them to do so because there's so many barriers around it. So you only get 5 days, you only get a week. It's not fair to our community to say this is what you're worth, and what you're worth is holes in the walls, bugs on the floor, mold visible, no heat, no air conditioning. It's inhumane.
Schulich says if the DHS was dismantled, community groups would be allowed to do more to figure out the needs of those facing an emergency. For all the coverage on what's going on with this Motel 6 issue, head to our website, RochesterFirst.com. Former President Donald Trump is back at his golf club in New Jersey following his historic arraignment yesterday in Washington. Trump there in D.C. pleaded not guilty to 4 charges, including 3 counts of conspiracy and 1 for obstruction, for allegedly leading a criminal conspiracy to try to overthrow the 2020 presidential election. The legal teams from both sides are due back in court coming up the 28th. Federal prosecutors have charged 2 active duty U.S. Navy sailors based out of California with selling sensitive national defense info to China. These federal prosecutors say this includes details on wartime exercises, naval operations, and critical technical material. Your sunrise traffic here at 6:55. We have been good to go so far when we're checking all around the main expressways, 390, 590, 490, and same goes right now. Let's try to keep it that way. Final day of the work week. We'll check sunrise traffic again at 7:25. Monroe County's oldest cultural festival picks up again later this evening. The 53rd annual Puerto Rican Festival runs through tomorrow downtown at the Wings Ballpark Innovative Field at the VIP parking lot. They've got a lot of music, headliners every night, food and cultural staples. Admission, $15 at the door, $5 for kids 6 to 12 and seniors 60 and up. One adult needs to be with someone there if they're under 18. The festival for day 2 begins at 5 and that will run until 11. Also later tonight, we have that drawing for the more than $1 billion jackpot for Mega Millions, now at an estimated $1.25 billion, close to its highest ever jackpot for this game, Mega Millions, of $1.5 billion. Your odds of hitting this, a little more than 1 in 300 million, but eventually, as we've seen just recently with Powerball, that was more than $1 billion. Someone has to hit it. So good luck and play responsibly. All right.
Yeah, rooting for everybody with that. And you don't have to root for nice weather because I can pretty much guarantee we got it.
Yes, very good odds with that. Weekend's going to be just fine.
Yeah, superb out there. Your 8-day forecast here. We do have a couple of storms popping up closer to Wayne County along 104 in that direction towards Sodus and Wolcott area. But those are fading. We get to 80 today. We drop in temperatures tomorrow. Numbers in the upper 70s, but mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy for Sunday with numbers in the lower 80s. And then Monday, let's keep an eye on that. Strong thunderstorms going to be possible. You know, I mentioned this earlier. A lot of people just enjoying the weekend, maybe not tuning into our broadcasts. But this is kind of the situation where you want to be prepared for Monday. You want to know what's going to happen on Monday. So Sunday afternoon, evening, not only should you tune into our broadcast, but also get the News 8 app, right, and just glance at it and just know that we could deal with some strong to severe storms on Monday.
All I'm hearing is get that grass cut this weekend before Monday. Thank you, James. Thanks for watching us here this week at Sunrise. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.